Have you ever met another bipedal intelligent being? In recent years, there have been hundreds of extraterrestrial sightings. It's unknown whether there are more occurring or if the government has just decided to stop hiding them. In light of a recent hearing that presented non-human bodies and UAPs to the public, I decided to research what other strange things have been found in Mexico. Hi, I'm V. Welcome to Top 5 Scary. Today I'm going to be looking at the top 5 signs of alien life in Mexico that we can no longer ignore. Number 5. Alien Task Force. In July of 2022, a government-aligned UAP organization was created, the AARO, or the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, directed by Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick. It's the government lead for all UAP-related anomalies. The purpose of ARO is summarized in their mission and vision statements, which say their goals are to minimize technical and intelligence surprise by synchronizing scientific, intelligence, and operational detection, identification, attribution, and mitigation of unidentified anomalous phenomena in the vicinity of national security areas. Vision statement is: unidentified anomalous phenomena are effectively and efficiently detected, tracked, analyzed, and managed by way of normalized DoD, intelligence community, and civil business practices, by adherence to the highest scientific and intelligence tradecraft standards, and with the greatest transparency and shared awareness. A lot. ARO reviews reports of UAPs and has received hundreds of reports. Dr. Kirkpatrick estimates that they receive 50 to 100 reports each month. They investigate each and every video and report using their scientific resources. The ARO reports to Deputy Defense Secretary Kathleen Hicks. It is the first government office to be tasked with synchronizing efforts across the DoD and the interagency to collect, report, and analyze UAPs. They are taking a collaborative, objective, data-driven approach to their mission. The ARO has a website that anyone can visit to check out all of this information for themselves. There are countless videos of UAP sightings posted to the government-backed website. They are also working on a government personnel sighting report program for current and former government employees who may have knowledge of UAPs. ARO replaced the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, UAPT, which only ran from 2019 to 2021. I personally think that the ARO is pretty cool. I mean, oftentimes alien conspiracists are shamed for not believing in science, but having an accomplished physicist show so much passion and determination for getting answers reminds us all what science is really about. It's about understanding the worlds around us, asking questions, making theories, and of course, staying curious. Number 4. Government-owned UAPs. In July of 2023, 3 former military officials entered a Congress hearing and shook the minds of hundreds of people. David Grush told the panel that he was absolutely certain the government was in possession of UAPs. David Grush is a decorated Afghanistan soldier and a former Air Force intelligence officer who worked at the NGA, which is the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, and at the NRO, which is the National Reconnaissance Office. From 2019 to 2021, he was the NRO representative of the UAPT. Remember, the organization that came before ARO? A lot of letters. David was the co-lead for UAP analysis for the NGA. He assisted in drafting the National Defense Authorization Act of 2023, which includes provisions for the reporting of UFOs, including whistleblower protections and exemptions to non-disclosure orders and agreements. So clearly, he's a pretty accomplished man, and a man who is extremely knowledgeable of the events and conversations that are taking place in government settings, especially surrounding UAPs and Inhumans. David claimed that he was informed multi-decade Pentagon program that sought to locate, collect, and reconstruct UAPs. He interviewed over 40 people in 4 years and has come to the conclusion that the government is currently in possession of UAP. He said he actually knew the exact location of the technology, as the information was provided to him, the Inspector General, and some was provided to the intelligence committees. David claims that the program is funded above congressional oversight, being bankrolled by a misappropriation of funds. When asked if that meant there was money being taken out of other programs, yes, I have specific knowledge of that. David was unable to release more information regarding the funding, as he said it was classified. He stated that even though he didn't have any first-hand experience with UAPs, he knows several colleagues who have encountered and even been injured by them. The entire hearing was extremely telling. A lot of crazy revelations came to light, but UAPs weren't the only thing the government was accused of possessing and hiding, and they definitely weren't the most interesting thing either. which brings us into our next point. Number 3, non-human biologics at a crash site. During the same hearing that David Grusch dropped the news that the government had UAPs, he dropped another, even bigger extraterrestrial bomb on everyone. He claimed to be aware of colleagues who had recovered from non-human biologics derived from UAP crashes. However, when asked to provide evidence to substantiate his claims, Grusch again stated that he was not able to provide any more information, as it was classified. But he did describe the unsettling nature of what he witnessed. I have to be very careful here. What I personally witnessed, myself and my wife, was very disturbing. Grusch informed the panel that though he could not elaborate on everything in front of the public, he was able and willing to provide more information to select people in a sensitive compartmented information facility. He claims that his testimony was based on information given to him by trusted individuals, who all had a long-standing record of legitimacy. He said that the sources shared proof in photographs, documentation, and official oral testimonies. When asked if he had known of anyone who lost their lives due to inhuman materials, Grusch responded, "I directed people with that knowledge to the appropriate authorities." Grusch said that he'd suffered retaliation within the government for his decision to become a whistleblower, but he hoped that his coming forward would help with future transparency from the government to citizens. What inhuman biologics were seen and found are still a mystery, but many people have theorized as to what exactly Grusch meant. He divulged that pilots who recovered from crashes had been affected by the inhuman biologics, which was the assessment that people with direct knowledge of the situation provided Grusch. Many agencies and news outlets have since spoken out against David's claims, criticizing him for his outlandish lies, as they put it. I don't think what Grusch is saying is accurate. While it's possible he's believing what he's saying, it's an incredible story that really needs some actual verification. So far, the best evidence Grusch has come up with, besides his own word, is the government's denial. Even RO director Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick has spoken in opposition of David, stating that David has refused contact with the RO. Kirkpatrick even added on, saying that the hearing was insulting to the officers of the Department of Defense and intelligence community who chose to join RO, many with not unreasonable anxieties about the career risks this would entail. Grusch has not responded to any of these criticisms. Here's my opinion on it. I'm just not sure why he would lie, and if he is lying, why? There must be something even deeper going on because, as we know, the government frequently covers up a huge scandal with many smaller ones. What do you think? Number 2, UFO In Disguise. Now we're gonna go a little bit south, down to Mexico, where the shocking hearing revealed and presented jaw-dropping extraterrestrial information. A photo that first appears to be a close-up of a star, or the sun is claimed to be a UFO. The strange thing about this star, though, was it wasn't in space. It was in the sky, and it wasn't burning out the eyes of onlookers. It's described as a spherical object with 3 layers, seemingly made of light or energy. Many have commented that it looks as though there is a UFO in the center of the orb. A user commented, "A ring or layers may not be the craft itself, but an effect of the camera. I'm not saying it's not a UAP and all camera stuff. There is without a doubt a glowing UAP up there. Just saying the layered look appears to be the common effect that happens when taking photos of bright things in the sky from a distance." They further noted the similarities between this photo and the description that Charles Halt provided in regards to the Rendlesham incident. For those of you who are unaware of the Rendlesham Forest incident, I'll give you a quick summary of it. In December of 1980, a series of sightings, all claiming to have seen strange, unexplained lights, were reported. The lights were seen near a United States Air Force occupied base in England. Many personnel claimed to have seen these lights, including Colonel Charles Halt. Furthered the curiosity when he stated that he also saw UFOs among the lights. Some men drew diagrams and pictures to try to record what the lights looked like. Halt described that the lights were red, sun-like light. Sun-like light, adding, "It's like the pupil of an eye looking at you, winking, and the flash is so bright to the starscope that, it almost burns your eye." Users have also released their own photos online of images similar to what had been released. There have been no official answers regarding what the Rendlesham incident was, or what the similar disguised UFO from the Mexico hearing was. Finally, number 1, non-human mummy. As as always, I saved the best for last. During the same Mexico hearing, a researcher presented two unidentified inhuman beings to the world. Yes, Jamie Masson is a journalist and researcher on UAPs. Jamie entered the hearing with two boxes, each carrying what he claims are the small stuffed bodies of extraterrestrial beings. Jamie and a colleague ran extensive testing on both of the specimens: X-rays, 3D reconstructions, macro and microscopic analysis, DNA analysis, and just about every test you could possibly run on a creature. They found that the creatures were 100%, without a doubt, non-human. He describes the creatures, stating, "They are 60 centimeters long, covered by a white powder that, through electron microscopy, we identify as diatom powder, which allows the desiccation of the bodies as well as the absence of the generation of bacteria, fungi, and cadaveric fauna. The presence of this dust allows the perfect conservation by desiccation of these bodies, causing a natural conservation process over time, which we were able to calculate by applying the carbon-14 test, which indicated and dated an average of 1,000 years old." They claim to have recovered the creatures in Peru in 2017. They were able to identify that one of the creatures was 1,800 years old and the other was 700 years old. Each had only 3 fingers and 3 toes, a head, a neck, abdomen, and limbs. The bones were resistant, light but strong. Jamie compared them to the bones of a bird. The skull has the characteristics which further display how light yet resistant the bones are. The skull also has a lot of space for what they would figure would be a brain and eyes. The brain would be incredibly large and the eyes would have had an amazing field of vision. They were able to tell that the species consumed food through swallowing opposed to chewing. The bone formation in the neck is not found in primate species like humans, monkeys, or apes. They were able to find evidence of eggs, which prove that the species was biological and organic, as the replication would be impossible to falsify, according to Jamie. The creatures had strange fingerprints. Opposed to being a circular pattern like ours, theirs were completely straight and horizontally linear. The species also have metal implants that are attached below the skin near the surface. The implants are alloys of several metals, including osmium and cadmium, which are both used for satellite telecommunications. They compared the DNA with over 1 million different species and found that there's a significant difference between all of them. The studies that proved how different the species is were conducted in various countries. The results showed that 70% of the genetic material is known, but 30% isn't. This difference is absolutely insane. The difference between humans and primates is less than 5%, and the difference between humans and bacteria is less than 15%. 30% is huge! Jamie closed his presentation by saying, "I can affirm that these bodies are 100% real, organic, and biological, that at the time they had a life and are irrefutable evidence in themselves. We are facing the paradigm of describing a new species or the opportunity to accept that there has been contact with other non-human beings that were drawn and pointed out in the past, in various cultures throughout the world, such as Peru, Egypt, and Mexico, and that today we can accept their existence among and with us." Many have challenged Jamie's claims, stating that similar discoveries have been forged in the past. By him. They also added that they do not have any actual proof that any of the tests were ever carried out. But I don't know. It doesn't sound completely outlandish to me. I mean, humans do have a track record of wiping out humanoid species. I mean, just think of the Neanderthals. I wouldn't be surprised if humans just got jealous of the creature's superior intellect and decided, let's get rid of them. Well, that brings us to the end of our list. What do you think about everything? Could those small humanoid creatures be real? Let me know in the comments, or shoot me a DM on Instagram. Again, I'm V, and thank you for joining me as I recap the top 5 signs of alien life in Mexico that we can no longer ignore. I hope you enjoyed the video, but most importantly, I hope you learned something. Stay curious.